I'm in a small group with Michelle, her husband Kevin, then the most important members of their family. Carson, is Carson over there, Kevin?
Carson is here.
Oh, there he is. Okay, I see him over there. He's hiding over there. And Bella came up here to help her mom. And would you welcome Michelle Keys and her family? Okay, Michelle, you brought a few things to sort of help us make Super Bowl fun and to know that it's not that bad.
It's not that
being
bad.
Healthy.
No, it's awesome. It's awesome to feel good about what you're eating. How many people here like nachos and wings?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right, guys.
I think you better close your eyes, though.
Okay.
You close your eyes?
Okay.
How many people like nachos and wings, right? They're afraid to say because they're doing the Daniel plan, you know. Okay, so doing the Daniel plan, you're probably thinking Super Bowl Sunday, I'm going to have to pack some celery sticks and not talk to anybody and sit in a corner. So that's not going to happen today because I have great alternatives for you. We have actually started with these wings, and I'm going to go back to what Steve said about happy, healthy cows. These are from Healthy, Happy Chickens. So when chickens are not stressed out, they produce great meat. They produce healthy fat in the meat, actually a third less fat than unhealthy corn-fed chickens. So we want to go ahead and leave these wings naked when we put them in the oven, totally naked. We're just going to put them in and let those natural healthy fats seep out of them. And as you broil, it'll crisp, and these are crispy and crunchy and really, really good. As a sauce to put on top, if you like to spice it up a little bit, I use Frank's Red Hot, which you're probably thinking is in a bottle and a processed food, and most things are. However, you just have to look at the ingredients. The ingredients in this is pretty much the chilies and the vinegar, some salt. So that one's okay. If you look under Frank's Red Hot for other brands, other formulas, I guess, this is the original, and they also have extra hot and things like that. Just be careful because they add certain things like hydrogenated oils. Speaking of which, so I have an organic ranch up here, and you're probably looking at that going, well, that's good because it's organic. I just want to draw your attention to the fact that just because it says organic on the bottle does not mean that it's perfect. The rule is with USDA that 70% of the ingredients that go into this are organic. So the first ingredient on the back is soybean oil, which we know is highly inflammatory, and we want to avoid that for sure. So don't only look at the front, always be looking at the back of your bottle as well. So we're not going to use that ranch. We're actually going to go ahead and make our own. It was super, super easy, and let me tell you about the sour cream, full fat, yogurt, full fat. Yay! Because 60% of your brain is fat, and we need that to think properly. No wonder we're always crazy. And then some fresh cilantro, or sorry, this is parsley, fresh parsley. You saute an onion with some garlic in a frying pan, add it all together, and you have ranch. So it's super easy. And while you're munching on these, you can feel good about your team winning and about yourself not going to feel horrible the next day. Okay, so we'll move over here to the nachos. Ultimate party food, right? I'm just going to bring some chips and dip. So you know you're going to be faced with this kind of stuff today. You want to hold those, Bella? So corn is very inflammatory as well, especially genetically modified corn, which these would be made of because they are not labeled on the bag. They have no labels saying USDA organic or GMO verified. Hold those up, Bella, and can you point to the bottom? Can you see the little stickers on the bottom? Right there. That's a non-GMO project. And then this one over here is the USDA organic. So I said that corn was inflammatory, which it is, and we're always going to take in a little bit of inflammatory foods. That's just life. It's what happens. So these particular chips, which we're lucky, H-E-B makes these, and they are red quinoa and flaxseed. So with the corn that is inflammatory, there are other ingredients. The flaxseed, which is a great omega fatty acid, omega-3, and then the quinoa, which is an ancient grain and not so inflammatory. So they kind of balanced it out. We'll justify that way for today.
Quinoa really is a real thing.
Quinoa is a real thing.
I didn't know if that was
It's ancient. It's ancient. We just are hearing about it now. This is just wrong, okay? This is wrong. This is cheese in a jar. So it's like meat in a can. They're all wrong.
But it never spoils.
It never, you know what? That's what, you can leave this on the shelf for years, so I suggest you do that. Just leave it there, because it'll live there for years. So this, you can make your own queso very easily by actually melting cheese. Of course, convenience would be, well, it's going to get hard then. Add a little bit of milk, add a little bit of garlic and some chilies, stir it all together, and it'll stay liquid for Super Bowl. So we're moving on to the nachos, where we'll take these chips, we'll spread them all over a cookie sheet, maybe lined with parchment paper, and we will cover those with an organic cheese. I didn't mention that the full-fat dairy that I use, we strive to use limited grain and limited dairy. However, when you do the nachos with some organic cheese means that you will not have any hormones or antibiotics in the products. So the happy, healthy cows, chickens that have the byproducts, you want to stick to those happy, healthy animals. What we'll do is we'll top that cheese with some either black beans or a healthy protein, and add some red peppers and yellow peppers, fresh tomatoes. I've got some pico de gallo up here, and bake them in the oven for 20 minutes. What did you say?
They're making me hungry.
Oh, she's hungry. And the other thing we've done is we've actually made our own salsa. Just be careful, read all your ingredients. So
that is great. Now, one of the things that I wanted to ask too, because the fear is, what if I can't do this? How I can't work? So, what have you found are some of the biggest deterrents, or people struggle the most with when they try to become healthier, when they try to empty out their food pantry? Because we did that. We went in and I decided to empty out all the unhealthy things out of my food pantry, and then we turned it into a bathroom because there was nothing left in there. So, I was hungry.
That's a great question. So with anything, change always brings resistance. And with anything, there are two deterrents, always. Time and money. I'll speak very briefly on money. People are, automatically, there are people who say organic and it's too expensive. And I do want to stress the fact that you may pay more for some things. However, some things are not. These actually chips are just the same price as these, if not cheaper. So you can get about the same on some things. Now, the high-quality meats and eggs, they are more expensive, but you have to understand that these farmers are raising these animals differently, and they're not going to have an inflammatory effect on the body, and you may not, you're going to pay the grocery store or the farmer, or you're going to pay the hospital later. So you just have to keep that in mind. So change your focus, change your way of thinking, and it will open you up. You can do dried beans as opposed to the organic canned beans, and that is much more cost effective. So that's a little bit on the money part. Now the time. Pastor Bradley was talking about planning, and it is absolutely key to plan. Just real quick, a typical week in my house, I'll ask my family, what would you guys like for dinner next week? And I'll get 4 or 5 or 10 responses, and I have to sort through those, and I make a list. I shop from the list that of the ingredients that go into the food that they are requesting. So in doing that, you don't just buy all these random things that end up rotting and going in your trash. So that's another way of cost-effective shopping. And then I do what's called a grocery shop, and I'm so diligent at reading my labels. Even if you find a product that is you think is great, I need you to keep looking at the label every now and again to make sure that company is keeping to their word. Because like I said, on the front of the bottle versus the back of the bottle, a lot of times, especially with your mayos, made with olive oil, they may have done like a little iodine dropper of olive oil on the top, but the whole thing's made with soybean oil. So I do what I call a grocery shop, and then I do a grocery chop. And I will chop things up, have vegetables and healthy snacks available so you can pop the top off of those the same way you can pop the top off of Pringles. And after today, you won't be doing that anymore. So just be prepared. If you plan and organize, and just always thinking ahead will save you from those ravenous moments where you just want to eat your right arm.
One of the things that I said, I'm in a small group with the Keys, and I went into their pantry, and it was amazing, and I have to give Kevin a lot of credit for it because it is all labeled, and it was just incredible. But like I said, sometimes it's a little overwhelming to think if I get rid of all the bad stuff, I don't know that I can do that because I won't have anything. So what do you recommend for changing out things?
Okay, so what I would recommend, first off, is just because it's Super Bowl Sunday, I will use an athlete analogy, team analogy. If today, when the coach pulls a player off the field, they would never not put another player in. So you'd be at a disadvantage if you just pulled. Just like if you empty your entire pantry, you're at a disadvantage because you have nothing to eat. So what we want to do is we want to find a healthier or better, sustainable substitute. So you don't want to throw everything out. We were talking about emptying pantries at the small group, and I said, I hate to waste, so I came up with other things to do with the food that I wanted to throw out, like enriched white flour. If you ever burn yourself, you can just put your thumb in the flour, it'll take the burn away, but you don't want to be using that in your food. So you just want to find a really great replacement and be looking for that one step at a time. So if this week you want to change out, you want to do a healthier oil or you want to do a healthier sugar, just do your research and just change one thing at a time. And that's how you'll go from where you are in your pantry to better.
That is great. Well, would you join me in thanking Michelle and Isabella for coming?